Like, one of the things about jiu-jitsu, this is a very important lesson for anybody who knows jiu-jitsu, because a lot of people don't like this aspect of jiu-jitsu. Some people have this meathead idea that the way to get good at jiu-jitsu is to go against the hardest guys, get your ass kicked, and that's how you learn. Actually, that's the wrong way to learn. The best way to get good at jiu-jitsu is to strangle blue belts. You go and you find people that are just learning, but they're not as good as you, and you choke the fuck out of them. That's how you get really good at your technique. And people say, well, that's bullying. Well, it is important for the blue belt to, at some point, spar with black belts. It is important, because or purple belts or brown belts, because you need to know that there's a higher level of proficiency, there's a higher level of skill, and then there's a shorter distance in between points that these guys are hitting. They're cutting the chase. They're capitalizing on very small openings, and they clamp down, and when they capitalize on these small openings, they get submissions quicker. So you have to know that there are guys that are better. That's important. But to drill, the most important thing is drilling. And when you drill with like someone of your level, and you just practice on each other. Like, you choke me, and you'll do it like twice, and I'll choke you, I'll do it twice, and it's just practice. And maybe you'll resist like 50%. Like, sometimes, like, when you're doing a drill and I'll pretend to be resisting, I'll resist like a little bit so that you strangle me and choke, because that simulates real life, simulates how it would be, and you're supposed to be building your muscle memory. But the real way to do it, after you do that, to get it really sharp, is to practice on people with a limited amount of proficiency, just to choke the shit out of them. So that's like the way that you ultimately get better, is to practice on people that aren't quite as good as you. And then you eventually develop, and you get to a point where, that seems kind of impractical, But I don't remember what my point was. Choking people, sports.
Going against different belts, kid teaching bullying.
Getting better. So the idea by that is, the real problem with that is, if you're in a school and say you're the only white belt, and everybody else is a brown belt or a black belt, and you're training with them, fuck, man, you might not ever get good. Like, you just might get wrecked all the time. And that's the idea with kids that are in sports that are so much younger than everyone else in their class. Or if you're pretentious and you're precocious and they bring you into class early, he skipped a grade. So you're in 7th grade now, Billy. Well, you got to go to 7th grade football? Good luck, you little fuck. Yeah. You're going to get run over.
One of my best friends growing up, the whole time we were playing sports, his birthday is a week after mine, but he's a whole year older than me. And so he played sports with us the whole time. He's smaller than me and doesn't look like he's bigger than all of us, but he would beat the shit out of every single person we would play. Every sport, football, basketball, baseball, track. When we got to high school, for some reason he was better than everyone in that too. He was a 9th grader, and he was starting freshman running back on the varsity team in the newspaper, but he was a whole year older than everyone. And
well, that's what it is.
15 years ago, no one was really.
Yeah, well, that's a big deal, because your body develops like very rapidly at a young age, and so these young kids that are older than everyone else in their class, they have this significant advantage, and that advantage, according to Gladwell, it accelerates them onto success as a professional. That because you have an advantage, you continue to get better, and you can exercise that advantage over other people, which sharpens your skills. Just like, the idea of getting really good because you're strangling blue belts. It's not good for the blue belt, but it's good for you, because you're already ahead of them. So you're going to get better and better and better and better.
I was held back